Hey fellow gamers, Chatty Sisa here. Welcome back to the Horizon Zero Dawn guide or walkthrough, where we are collecting all the data points, whether they are related to quests or they are spread across the world, and also all the collectibles. In this one we are already entering the Frozen Wilds DLC, which is in the very north of the map, and as you can see here, I had to split it again into multiple parts, and that is because the Frozen Wilds DLC is basically sort of like a small mini game, and a lot of the quest related items are also in a side quest. So in this case we will have to do also side quests and side tasks and not just the main mission. I'm hoping that you find this guide useful, and in case you do, please don't forget to hit that like button below, and also feel free to check out my channel. There's some other stuff related to Horizon, but not just to the Horizon games. There are other games as well which I'm talking about and which I'm playing, so I hope that you will be finding the channel quite fun. And in case you do, please also don't forget to hit that subscribe button and also the bell icon, and you will be notified whenever I post a new vid. But back to this guide, we will have to find in this one the Tallneck, which will uncover the entire map, and unlike in the base game, we don't have to just simply override it, we will have to basically assemble it. So it will be quite interesting in this one. I hope you like it, and I wish you fun watching. To start the Frozen Wilds DLC, we have to go to the north and very close to the Grave Hoard. If you remember, there is a campfire which we have used already previously, and this is also our starting point for the Frozen Wilds DLC. The road is already highlighted on the map, as you can see, and we have here Explore the Cut, and there will be a Banuk camp here in the area. Now, if you look at the map, we can see that we cannot see the map because of course it's covered, and therefore the first thing that we should do, or one of the first things that we should do, should be going to this Tallneck here and try to override the Tallneck to have the entire map uncovered. There is only one in this DLC, or in this portion of the game, so that's good. And let me now switch to the notebook. And as you can see, we have a couple of data points that we need to find, of course, also here in the Frozen Wilds DLC, which is in the Banuk lands. We do have 25 audio data points. Those are here. Then we do have 13 text data points, which are spread across the world. 14 text data points which are coming from quests, and 3 hologram data points. Now, aside from the text data points which are spread across the world, those are the 13 here, most of the items that you can see will be during quests, whether it's main quests or side quests. So the hologram data points, of course, naturally the text data points coming from quests, but also the audio data points. Now, if you look at the collectibles, we can see that we have some pigments, and that is 9 in total in 3 sets. And then we have 6 animal figurines. Good, so I'm going to start the DLC. I will go from the Grave Hoard to the point where I have the marker for exploring the cut, and then I will talk to a couple of people there. Once we have initiated some of the first main and side quests, I will switch back to the recording and show you what to do next. We also have, of course, an additional smaller map, as we did have also for the main game. We have one for the 13 text data points which are spread across the world. As you can see, those are here on the map. And the quest data points are a little bit, I think 3 or 4 are in the area that we could gather at the start, then there's a couple of them in the center of the map, and then we have 2 remaining points which are at the northern end of the map. Because the first quest that we are going to do, which will be both main and side quests, will be on the western side of the map, we will most probably gather the points number 7, 9 and also 1 as the first ones, and then continue from there. You will find the merchants all here then in this area. But first you need to initiate the main quest, and once you are done with the first portion of it, they will all return to this area here. This should be important for you in case you are playing for the first time and you are not playing an NG+. The best weapons in the game in general are considered to be the Banuk weapons, and you can buy some of them already here, or trade the so-called Bluegleam for the new weapons. Let me switch to the resources that we have. And under special items, you have the so-called Bluegleam, which is a precious blue-tinted crystal valuable to merchants. And for this Bluegleam, you can exchange some of the best weapons in the game. Again, the Bluegleam will be spread across the entire map, just like we have seen previously in the base game, for example, the Banuk figurines or the metal flowers. So there is a specific marker for the Bluegleam as well. You just need to first buy a map that will be showing you the spots where the Bluegleam is available.
Go back to the mountain, and I will stand with him.
Get ready for a rare sight, Nora. Bergrand, purveyor of necessities.
I'd go to Stone Yield and kill all good
Good, so once you have initiated the first portion of the first quest in the Banuk lands, you have been talking to Bergrand. This is the guy here. He already gave you some tips how to reach the shaman Aurea, who will lead you to some additional quests. So you have the shaman's path already visible as the next quest, but once you are here you can already also talk to the leader of the Varak, the chieftain, and he will give you some additional information and we can initiate some more quests. If you look at the map, you can see that aside from the normal, let's say, standard merchant, you have also a specialized merchant, which is the one for the Bluegleam. And I would suggest to talk to him as well to get the Bluegleam map and to be able to get the weapons that are the best in the game. Now, as you can see, there are only adept weapons at this time, and that's because I'm playing an NG+. Normally you would see here weapons that you can trade for Bluegleam. So this is something different when you are playing the first time the game, and it is something different what you see here when you're playing an NG+. But nevertheless, what's important here, when you look, there are also some outfits that you can obtain. And the more important bit is the special items, which are the maps. There is a map for the animal figurines, the map for the pigments, and also a map for Bluegleam. And as you can see, you need specific items to obtain these maps. For example, a badger bone in this case. For the pigments, I'm missing a goat bone, but it's obtainable not so far away from this camp. And then you need, again, goat skin and badger bone here. So the Bluegleam maps are quite important. I will definitely buy this one. And then we can also still buy this one, which is for the animal figurines. And we'll have to come back for the pigments map. And right behind the merchant, which is having these specialized weapons, you can see the wall, which is having the Banuk paintings on it, and that's where you need to initiate the quest for the pigments gathering.
Water.
I've never known what the sound of sleep was not when the old ones were fresh in our graves and our numbers were still small. It was she who led us through the frozen wastes. We also remember the ravenous tribe, who delight everywhere by themselves. Ah, there you are. I can't feel right. I can't feel what's amazing in this.
Quite a view you've got up here. It's a useful perspective. How fleeting we are when the world is so wide. From up here, you can see how the light paints across the land. Ever changing. That's a lesson. All our marks will pass.
That outlook sounds a little depressing for a painter.
Haven't met many artists, have you?
You can also see now in the inventory that we have the map for the Bluegleam and for the animal figurines. Now if I switch to the map, you can see that these items have popped up on it. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of Bluegleam in the area. It's not so far away that we have the first animal figurine and some Bluegleams. And you can gather really a lot of Bluegleam here in this DLC. Which you are going to need if you want to obtain all the weapons and then some of the outfits, for example, which are specialized as well. But let's talk to the chieftain to gather more information before we venture out of the camp.
I do not want to hear this talk from you again. Doubt is heavier than a week's snow.
Forgive me, my chieftain. We will be ready for the next attempt.
But this will not be an attempt. It must be done. Do you understand?
My chieftain.
Good. Outlander, I suppose you wish to speak?
Alright, so if we look at the map, we have to continue on the road here. Although the first pigment will be somewhere here in this area, I can tell you that much already. And we can try to go for this Bluegleam here, which is at the back of this mountain where we are currently. There should be some goats, I think, so we should be able to, you know, get some of the, I'm not sure if it was bone or skin, to be able to buy the pigment map. And when we are already here, we could also gather the first animal figurine. So let me venture outside a little bit here towards this western area. And maybe first stop have here where we have the first pigment. And then go for the Bluegleam. So just as you're leaving the first encampment, you can see already here a smaller area where you have some hot water pools and there will be the first pigment. So let's go for the first pigment right now.
Wait a moment.
So the places with the pigments look like this. You can see there is a marker above the spot, which is purple. And if you come closer, you will see that you can gather the pigment. And this is what it looks like.
Sakuli will want this.
You can also see that we have already the first one from the first set. And you can also read a little bit about the pigment. So this is where we currently are. Good, let's go for the Bluegleam here. And let me show you where you can find it. So if you look at the map, I'm following this one specific road here. It should lead us to another campfire and then we can go from the campfire towards the Bluegleam. Good, so there's the campfire and there is also a ruined house, I would say, or a cottage. And we need to explore this one because we will find here already some of the data points. And as per the smaller map, we can see here the data point number 7, which is around the area, so we need to look for it. And it is right here in the building, in the old cottage, as you can see. And it is the data point number 7, as we could see. Let me switch to the map, and we also have very close by the animal figurine and some other ruins, so we can go for that one and right now as well if we want to, and then we can go towards the Bluegleam spots. As I've said, there is another ruin or more ruins, and you have to be careful because there are some machines in the area. And here in this next ruined building, you can see on the window or in the window the first animal figurine.
This animal figurine. The shape looks familiar.
It is the third one from the set, and it is clearly showing you based on what the tramplers have been created. So this is where we currently are. Let me turn back and go towards the Bluegleam area, and then we will have gathered everything for now from this side of the map. Good find, so I've managed to find a goat bone. Let me just check where we currently are.
Between my teeth.
Good, so we're on the way towards the Bluegleam area. Good, so in case you are looking for some goats or goat bones, it is where we currently are with Aloy. Though you have to be careful, there are some machines as well in the area. So normally where we currently are, this is the end of the road, as you can see. And I'm looking right at the spot where we can find the Bluegleam. If you turn on the focus, you can see there are several spots. Don't forget to gather all of it. And also here you can find some goats in case you need to. Good, I believe this is all of it. Let me check the map. And yes, we have gathered everything from this side. As you can see, we have to find Naltuk, who is here. That's the assistant for Urea, for the shaman. And if you want to avoid, let's say, going through the same area where we see a lot of machines, you can also choose to travel back to the campfire and also maybe go and buy now the map with the pigments. It is wise to do before we actually proceed, because we will not be missing anything and we don't have to return back to a specific spot. So let me jump back here to the campfire in Song's Edge and let's buy the last map that we still need.
One challenge at a time.
So we can now buy the map with the pigments.
The bandits may have wormed their way into the cut. They won't find the nuke easy.
Pray.
Good, let me check the map again now. And as you can see, we have now also the pigments added. We can now go towards the spot where we can find Naltuk and deal with this part of the main quest line. And once we are done here on this spot, then we can divert towards the eastern side and towards the Tallneck, which will allow us to uncover the entire map. As you can see, there are in the area again a couple of blue gleams. So we will be able to gather those as well, because the area or the path that the Tallneck is walking around is quite big. So let's follow the main road for now to find Naltuk.
Outlander, wait a moment. That weapon of yours, Outlander, that spear, I can see the blue light upon it.
So if you talk to this shaman here that is right next to the spot where we have found the first pigment, he will give you another side quest, and during that side quest we will be able to find some data points as well. So it's always a good idea to do the side quests here in this DLC as well.
Broken said Array's apprentice went north of the river. Hopefully not too far.
Now when you cross the bridge and you look towards the east, that's actually the area where you can find the Tallneck. So we'll be going back here after we finish talking to Naltuk.
That must be Naltuk, looking out at that tower. It looks like it's sending out a pulse or signal.
Naltuk?
Who are you?
Alright, so this is the spot where we have talked to Naltuk, and if we turn around and go towards the eastern side, we should be able to come across the Tallneck, or what's left of the Tallneck, let me put it that way, because in this case you will not see it walking around when you are coming close to the area. You will actually have to, let's say, revive it and make sure that it's functional again. We have returned to the bridge, which we have crossed before. This is where we have been talking to Naltuk, up on that hill. And we can now go and look for the Tallneck and finish the Tallneck quest here. As you can see, there are a few Glinthawks, so be prepared to deal with those.
The Tallneck? Where did it take to knock one of those over? Where about the last?
And as you can see on the map, the Tallneck will be walking around in a relatively big circle, which means once we are done with it, we should be able to also reach the Bluegleam here and the other Bluegleam over here. So let's start with the quest.
Okay, so nice. This show a long time ago.
And as you can see, the Tallneck is stuck here in ice, as Aloy previously mentioned. And if you have noticed, there is also a pile here of old junk.
Maybe our focus will see something.
And there's some nice stuff in there, so you can pick that up. There's the feet of the Tallneck. Good, let's go up there.
Looks like the scavengers ripped out 3 major parts. If I could bring them back, maybe I could even reactivate it. Get what's inside its head.
Good, so we need to gather 3 parts, and if you look at the map, they are scattered along the way where the Tallneck is normally walking around in a circle. You can see it a little bit better now, so we have to gather those. I would suggest to actually start in the opposite direction, so start with the third one, then go for the second, and then for the first one as the last one, because the third one is a little bit closer. So let's go for that one. Good, so you need to get rid of Glinthawks, and by the way, yeah, there will be a lot of machines on each of the spots, so be prepared to fight.
This Tallneck part's still in one piece.
Good, so we have this one. Let me check with the map again. So this is where we currently are. We just need to follow the road here and come to the second spot. The second spot is actually hidden beneath the path, so we will have to go down from the hill in order to get there. It's like a small cave. We are coming closer to the Bluegleam area as well. And as you can see, there are a few machines again.
Sun's making a show of it.
You can save your game here at the campfire. And just in case you're wondering, yes, the Bluegleam as well as everything else is in a cave beneath us. So you can either walk around and just take the path downhill, or you can climb down here as well, as you can see. Okay, so now you're in the middle of the area where the Tallneck is walking around. Let me check on the map. So this is where we are, approximately the middle, and we are going towards the cave. Good, so there are these lovely scorchers that are also here in the area, and this one was actually making sure that nobody enters the cave which is over there. So yeah, be careful. And as you can see, there is also a scrapper over there. So like I said, there are more machines. Be just ready to fight them. Alright, so as you can see, we have a couple of things here in this cave. Let's pick it all up.
One of the Tallneck's parts. It's heavy.
So that was the Tallneck part. Here is the Bluegleam. And a couple of resources in a supply crate. Good, so only one spot is remaining. And that is the one where we will find the array. Alright, so we have all the parts that we need. And also, if you have noticed, these are a little bit raised, these spots here. And that is also, of course, to be able to jump onto the Tallneck. So above Aloy's head is one such spot. Here we are standing on another. So you'll be able to use these spots to get onto the Tallneck later. Good, let me check the map again. We will go for the Bluegleam after we are done with the Tallneck. So let's go back to the Tallneck and finish the quest here. And I would advise you to scan for the spots where you need to actually use the parts, because some of them can be tricky. As you can see, here is one spot which you need to reach. There's the other one, and then on top is the last one. Alright, so here's the first one. It's a little bit towards the side. The other one is beneath the Tallneck. And the last one is on top.
It should wake you up. Easy now. Easy! Ugh. Ugh. Right, it's never easy. Now I need to climb that Tallneck again. I'll need to find higher ground.
Yeah, let's try to get to the second spot quite fast.
I should be able to jump onto the Tallneck from here. Made it. Now to climb up to its head.
Alright, so you can now see the Tallneck walking in circles, the usual standard, and now we have the observer log, which is one of the text data points spread across the world. And we also have now the entire map fully uncovered. Now there is one small portion, in case you are wondering, the portion on the very eastern part of the map. It's still a little bit hidden. That's simply because that is the final of the entire DLC, so the final spot where we'll have to go. And it will be uncovered in due time, let's say. So if I scroll back into the map, let's go for the next Bluegleam. And then we can proceed towards the northern and northern west side. Yeah, as you can see, the Tallneck is toppling down trees, which means that it hasn't been walking around for quite some time already. And here is the next Bluegleam location. If you look at the map, this is currently where we are. And it's on our way again towards the Bannock camp. Good, so we have this Bluegleam. Now, if we would cross the river, we would be going back towards the Song's Edge. But I would rather prefer to continue uphill and towards the north. We have here a couple of Bluegleam areas. As you can see, there's quite a lot of them. There's also a campfire on the way. And then here in the area in the middle, there will be a side quest, which is quite an interesting one and where we can gather more data points. So let me proceed towards the Bluegleam area here and towards the campfire. This is the area where we have helped Naltuk. And there is another bridge now on the way, so you have to cross the bridge. You will come upon what is looking as an old abandoned camp. And if you look around, you have one data point now immediately in front of you. It is on top of that car. And it is number 9. And this is where we are. So in order to get to the Bluegleam area, we have to go a little bit back. It's just a short way back. And then we can get to the next campfire and get to the bigger Bluegleam area. So let me go towards that campfire. And here's a path that leads again across the river and the next bridge. And if you look towards the left side, here in that area there will be a lot of the Bluegleam spots which you need to find. Good, so the campfire is straight behind the bridge. We did help a couple of hunters here. And now let's go for the Bluegleam. Good, so when you climb up, you can see a few already. So there were quite a few. If you want to be sure that you have gathered everything, always check with the map. And as you can see, there is still one more left, which is somewhere beneath us. So let's climb down here and try to find that last one. Ah, there it is. It's hiding in here. Good, so we have it now. It is basically on the same level as the campfire, but it's hiding behind the rock. Good, we have everything. Let me save the game and then check on the map what to do next. Good, so we have all the Bluegleam, and as you could see, we have seen that there is something to be done here in the area. There is one more additional side quest that, as I said, is quite interesting and will yield a couple of data points. So let's do this one the next. And then once we are done with it, we could also gather the pigments here and save the game at the next campfire. So that's it for this part. I hope you found it useful, and the next time we will be doing a side quest, as already mentioned in the vid, and it will yield a ton of data points, so that one should be worth your while the next time. Once the vid is ready, it will be posted here and you will be able to see it here in this corner. And until then, thank you very much for watching, stay tuned and game on!